The Indiana Fever eked out a win against the Atlanta Dream last night, and boy, they had their work cut out for them. So this was technically a win, but this was a game of lessons learned. The coach for the Dream, Carl Smesko, I have to give it up to that guy. When I read about him when he was first brought over to the Dream, I believe that he was brought over and to the Florida Gulf Coast. He made the D2 Florida Gulf Coast into a D1 team, and in his tenure there, he took that team, the Florida Gulf Coast, to the NCAA tournament 9 times. And over his career, he became 8th overall in total wins. I mean, so this guy kind of knows how to develop talent. He knows how to make teams better. And I'm telling you, it's not as if the Dream is a better team than the Indiana Fever, but I think he just told them, you need to get into their heads. And you know what? They just started like hacking the Indiana Fever and, more specifically, Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark was trying and she was just getting hacked. But Caitlin Clark got into foul trouble. She didn't make 1 3-pointer. This is the first time in her professional career that she has not made a 3-pointer. I did see a post on X about how the last time that she did not make a 3-pointer in a game was in her sophomore year at Iowa. Now, I didn't actually look into that because I am trying to make this video because I was supposed to take today off, but I can't not make a video about the game. But I was writing last night, so I didn't have time to do it last night. But I need to get this out for you guys. But I just don't know what it is about giving Caitlin Clark foul calls that has the referee so averse, but calling more on her. And basketball is so mental. Like when you get into someone's head, it can like really mess the rest of their game up. It can mess the momentum up. It can just mess the rhythm up. Rhyne Howard, I mean, she is so much better on defense than people give her credit for. Although, she was also hacking Caitlin Clark. I mean, there was a moment where Caitlin Clark was driving downhill, doing Caitlin Clark things, obviously probably going to make something amazing happen. Rhyne Howard just interrupts that momentum, barrels into her. They kind of get into it and shove each other. And Rhyne Howard says something to Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark basically says, I'm not scared of you, not once, but twice. And she's getting a lot of heat for backing down from the Angel Reese situation, which in my opinion was the smartest thing to do, because I'm sorry, anybody that's saying that Caitlin Clark needs to get into someone's face after something happens, they just don't understand the eyes that are on Caitlin Clark, and anything she does gets scrutinized to levels that, the WNBA does not have. She's getting a lot of heat for backing away from Angel Reese when Angel Reese kind of went up and clapped back at her when she fell on the floor. And it's I think that was probably the smartest thing to do. But just a quick segue, Angel Reese, this guy had such a bad game against the Liberty last night. And Angel Reese, she regressed in this play. She had tunnel vision. She had players all around her. She should have just kicked it out. Camila Cardoso just looks at her, just decides to walk away. She's over it. And Jonquel Jones just goes, not in my house. And, there's something going around right now with the play-by-play. It talks about Angel Reese rebound, Angel Reese miss, Angel Reese rebound, Jonquel Jones block. It's just, I mean, you can't write this, but not to harp on that too much, let's get back to Indiana Fever. So this was a game of the Howards, Natasha Howard, Rhyne Howard, but Natasha Howard coming out victorious with 26 points, going 12 for 17 and 7 rebounds, and this is why they brought her to the Fever, and I am so glad she stepped up last night. In the post-game interview, they asked her, what she was feeling, and she had mentioned, she was in her head previously, and coming to a team like the Indiana Fever, I can see it. The Indiana Fever are the only basketball team in the WNBA with NBA, professional sports level eyes, and I think that there's a lot of pressure. And it's really not for the faint of heart. I mean, look at the way DeWanna Bonner is being. She is so in her head. She is, a lot of people are saying she's washed, and she's not. She was a sniper last season. You don't just automatically all of a sudden get washed in an off season. I think that I'm questioning, whether she fits into the system, to be honest. I mean, I think that she's not having a lot of plays run for her. She didn't take a lot of shots. They didn't get her the ball very often. She came away with a point, although I mean, she did get 8 rebounds to her credit, but I think that it was so obvious she's in her head, and I think that she needs to step it up. She needs to get out of her head. She was visibly frustrated so many times on the court last night, and it just came out in her play. And, she's never had to like deal with this much pressure on other teams, and I think that it takes a certain mentality to be on a team like the Indiana Fever, and if she can't bring it together, they're just going to bench her. She's going to get benched. But I'm telling you, I was looking at the box scores. Kelsey Mitchell, she had a 36% field goal percentage, and she shot 146 at the 3. That's a 16.3 point percentage. And 36% from the field is not good for Kelsey Mitchell. And the Caitlin Clark off-ball experiment, that needs to be put aside. Okay, so I can see like the argument that it would help her like go off ball to get a little more rest because of the way that she was attacked, doubled and triple teamed last season, also having to think about creating plays. But looking at this experiment, she is not getting attacked, and it is gassing her. Like either she is standing there just like waiting for the ball, waiting for something to happen, and the ball is in the hands of somebody that does not have her court IQ, it cannot make plays like Caitlin Clark. So she's just waiting for a play. And then when she does run around, like looking for the ball, looking for them to like pass her the ball, the way that she's being defended, she's getting gassed. She's just like running around. It's counterintuitive to play a Caitlin Clark off ball for that reason. So this off-ball experiment really just needs to be set aside. And Coach White, she is new, and I know she's trying new things out. There's validation for that. But like I think the Caitlin Clark system of playing basketball is just so different and so unique, and it is so impactful that I think that they need to lean into that more. I do understand trying new things, but with the experience and like seeing the things that we're seeing in these few games, I think we just need to go back to Caitlin Clark basketball. And Damaris Dantas, she didn't look too shabby coming back in. She wasn't in for very long. She did go 1 for 5 in the field, but she went 1 for 3 at the 3, and she was making an impact that you don't see in the box scores. But Sophie Cunningham, my X factor, they were missing her in the beginning of this game. She goes in. As soon as she goes in, the energy turns around. She makes a few buckets. She was like disrupting plays. I really love seeing Sophie Cunningham on the court. She did come away with 9 points. She made a lot of interruptions. She was pesky on defense. And speaking of pesky on defense, Lecie Holt was great in this game too. She came away with 10 points. And while she didn't do as good as Lecie Holt can do, she was still a light in a very dark game. And in addition to coming away with 10 points, she had 4 assists and 2 steals. That is my Lecie Holt. I don't even want to talk about Aaliyah Boston. I mean, she was, wow. I mean, why they weren't running the pick and roll, I don't know. Again, I ask you, Coach White, tell me. Caitlin and Aaliyah, the ABC squared, it's like their bread and butter. Stephanie White, I think you need to switch things up a little bit. And I don't know if she just plans to like not play Michaela Timpson. This is like Seattle Storm, Noelle Quinn stuff here, not playing the rookies. But I would really like to see Michaela Timpson in for a few minutes a game just to see what she can do. But I mean, I understand that this was a very tight game, and the Dream were playing like off of like foul calls, like the foul actions. And one of the hardest things to get adjusted to as a rookie in the league is how to not foul, especially up against, veterans like Brittany Griner who know how to draw a foul. Brittany Griner knows how to garner a foul like nobody else. Well, except maybe Asia Wilson. And while Bree Turner did show some good defense in the last game, she was a DNP, which is do not play, so she did not see the court. So this was a game of the Howard, where Natasha Howard did edge Rhyne Howard out 26 points to 24. But I do have to give it up for Rhyne Howard, who made some pretty tough shots. She was impressive on defense. She came away with 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 assists. And I think, the plan for Indiana was to go into this, lock in on Brittany Griner, and they did hold Brittany Griner to 5 points. Everybody was in foul trouble though. Lexi was in foul trouble. Caitlin was in foul trouble. Brittany Griner was in foul trouble. Aaliyah Boston was in foul trouble. Everybody was just in foul trouble. I mean, the refereeing in this game just had me irate. Alicia Gray and Tahina Paopao both got 11 points, but I gotta say, I was really impressed with Tahina Paopao's performance as a rookie, who, by the way, I think might have gotten her welcome to the league moment by Natasha Howard, where she like ran into a screen and just like rocking chair style, face planted on the floor. She seemed to take it in stride, getting up and laughing and stuff. But oh man, the post game, when they were in the locker room, Stephanie White, was reading off the stat list, trying to give everyone their props. Everyone's just kind of sitting there like, yeah, we won, but like, we know we didn't show our best like game. And when she tries to give Dawana her props, Dawana's just like, I know I didn't do good. Don't even say anything to me. She buries her face in her hands because she knows that this was not a good game for her. But the Fever, this was a scrappy game. And as Caitlin Clark says, I'm not afraid of you. And I think that the Atlanta Dream is just like a tough matchup. I'm really hoping that this is an Atlanta Dream thing. I can see how it would be. But the Fever rose to the occasion, bringing it back in the fourth quarter, winning 81-76. In short, Coach White, go back to CC style basketball. I think the off-ball experiment needs to be set aside because there is just too much changing right now. There's too much chemistry that needs to develop between the teammates to try such a significant move. I don't think it's working for her right now. I think that, it's too much too soon because this experiment is a big risk. Referees, get it together. Kelsey Mitchell, stop stepping on the three-point line. Just go back like 2 inches. I actually think the Fever might have a better game against the New York Liberty, although the New York Liberty bench is scary good, and they have Jonquel Jones, who can shoot from the perimeter. The three-point shooting is what's going to be like what the Indiana Fever need to focus on and attack. And I was questioning whether Breanna Stewart would come back okay after her surgery, but I don't know if they gave her a bionic leg or something because she looks so good. Steph White needs to bury her head and write some good plays. Put Cece back on ball. Kelsey needs to get it together. Dawana Bonner needs to get out of her head. Natasha Howard, you're looking better. Sophie Cunningham, no notes. Coach White, run the pick and roll. And I'll see you next time.